All right, so we are going to try this again. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All right, come on now, let's try this one more time. We are back together in person celebrating this year. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Okay, I think we could do a little bit better. One more time. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All right, okay, my heart feels better about that. My name is Simone Baker. I am one of the Student Success Coach Managers with UCF Online. And I want to, do I have anyone from UCF Online or Digital Learning? All right, there we go. There's my family. Appreciate you guys. But I want to formally welcome you to the Black Faculty and Staff Association's annual mentoring luncheon. So first off, I want to take an opportunity again just to formally welcome everyone in this space here. And I know that we also have some individuals who are watching from online. So again, we want to welcome you for the festivities this morning, okay? I want to take the opportunity to also recognize the university president, Dr. Cartwright, and First Lady Cartwright. Good morning. Thank you. We also have representation from the Board of Trustees. I would like to take the time to honor the Honorable Alex Martin, the Chair of the Board of Trustees. And the Vice Chair, the Honorable Harold Mills. And also the Vice President of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Dr. Andrea Guzman. So we thank you all for being with us this morning, and again, for all of the faculty members, all of the staff members, and I see lots of students here as well, we want to officially welcome you this morning to the Mentoring Breakfast, okay? At this time, I would like to have Dr. Lee Ross, the president of the Black Faculty and Staff Association, to please come to the stage for our initial greetings. Thank you.
Thank you and good morning. Pardon my delay, but generally I can get up here a lot quicker, but I'm getting a little bit older. Thanks, Simone, and thanks for serving as our Master of Ceremony. When I looked at Master of Ceremony, I was concerned. I said, should I refer to Simone Baker as the Mistress of Ceremony? And I said, no, I did some research, and Master has been gender neutral throughout time. It has evolved into terms like mastermind, master plan, and masterpiece. I think women are capable of doing all of that and then some, okay? And my many thanks to every one of you for joining us today in what is billed as a historical anniversary celebration. As you know, the Black Faculty and Staff Association has been in existence for 50 years, and that seems like a mighty long time. The only bad thing about that is that I am older than 50 years. Exactly 1 week ago, BFSA, the Black Faculty and Staff Association, ushered in Black History Month at the Bennett House, the home of our gracious hosts, Dr. Alexander and Melinda Cartwright. It was a special occasion where our executive board welcomed many special individuals, especially our past presidents, some of whom we had not seen for decades. The combination of great food, photo opportunities, and spirited conversation highlighted the evening. Today's program seeks to invoke a similar spirit of fellowship, accompanied by reflection, presidential remarks, a highly anticipated keynote address from our gentleman over here, followed by awards and scholarships and other recognitions. And get this, if you're here at the end, some of you may get what I call a wonderful prize, okay? No, it's not a Maserati or a Lamborghini or a Tesla for you young people out there. Unless, of course, you know one of our 2 Board of Trustees members. They got it like that. Today, as Simone said, our program is being live streamed with the added potential to reach as many people as possible, and we are excited to do that. You know why? Because the question has evolved over the years as to who are we? And I'm going to use the term we pejoratively, because when I was 13 years old, when BFSA was first founded, I was telling our gathering last week that I used to go around delivering newspapers and so forth. But what I didn't tell you that at the age of 13, I was a learned, avid reader. And I also heard a poem that it still resonates today, 50 years later. And I'm going to use we as a substitute for BFSA, the Black Faculty and Staff Association. And it goes like this. We are BFSA. Yes, we are the willing, led by the unknowing, who have been doing the impossible for the ungrateful. We've done so much for so long with so little, we are qualified to do anything with nothing. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the program as we turn it back over to our Master of Ceremonies, Ms. Simone Baker.
Thank you again, Dr. Ross. At this time, I would like to invite to the stage Wayne Jackson, our former BFSA president, for a brief reflection.
Well, good morning. You know, I was talking with someone just a few minutes ago, and they asked me, Mr. Jackson, what is a reflection? I'm like, that's a good question. And so as I began to ponder and think, I started thinking, I don't know how many people attended the breakfast last year, but I did. And last year when I attended the breakfast, I was sitting in my living room, watching the computer and listening to all the speakers. And so as we reflect, I want us to think about where we were last year and where we are today. The opportunity to sit down with individuals, hear laughter, talk with people you haven't seen in a while. Some people would say, we've come a long way. We've come a long way from not being able to even spend time with each other. So when we think about reflecting, we're thinking about the past. We're thinking about how this organization has survived for 50 years. We're thinking about where we work and all the individuals that we have worked with. And then we're also thinking about the people who are no longer with us today. And so as you sit down and enjoy the ceremony, and as you leave this ceremony, I want you to begin to think about and reflect on just where you are and how fortunate and blessed you are to be where you are today. You know, through all its warts, issues, problems, we work at a great institution. We work at a place that cares about students, that loves students. Are we perfect? No. But as I reflect on it, I reflect on the fact that I'm excited and proud to see what the future brings for this institution and for UCF. And for all of the people that work here trying to help make this a greater place. So when reflecting, think about your blessings. Thank you.
And now, can everyone please rise for the Black National Anthem, which will be performed by the UCF Gospel and Cultural Choir.
Let our rejoicing rise high as the glistening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Is won. Is won. Is won.
Thank you again to the UCF Gospel and Cultural Choir. That was beautiful. And now I want to turn things over to our university president for our official campus welcome, Dr. Alexander Cartwright.
Thank you, Simone. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here. We haven't had a lot of these since I've been here. My wife and I have been here almost 2 years, and I believe this is the first time we've actually done an event like this in this ballroom. To see all of you this morning is just tremendous. It's also interesting to have to follow such incredible talent. I'm not going to be quite as good as they were. It is fabulous, though, to be part of this event that actually honors mentorship, compassion, and service. And in addition, it's a month where we're celebrating Black History Month, and we continue to celebrate the 50th anniversary for the Black Faculty Staff Association at UCF. I love the quote from Lee talking about, can do, I forgot exactly what it said, but can do anything with nothing. And the fact that we certainly know that at UCF in general. This is an institution that has always done so much with so little, and this organization exemplifies that. So thank you again, Lee, for having us here. Lee is certainly, in the short time that I've been here, has demonstrated to me what it means to be part of UCF, and that is someone who cares deeply about what this institution stands for, what we're trying to do, understands that we have our challenges, but that we'll continue to move forward as best we can. So at this time, can you please help me in thanking and congratulating Dr. Lee Ross for everything he's doing to make this happen. I will tell you that, the first time I really got to know him, other than realizing how tall he was, I very quickly did realize that he had this great sense of humor, and we were able to go out to lunch one day, and I think we laughed for the entire, however long, maybe it was 2-hour lunch. It was too long. No, we lost track of time. But it's great to be able to be part of a community where we understand that we have things to do, and that we need to just face them. And this year's event theme is about community excellence and how we want people to become great and what we can do to assure that everything is actually exceptional. And for UCF, that's our academics, that's our operations, it's the community, it's our culture, it's how we bring people together and how we make everybody better by being together. And certainly it is through our commitment to inclusion and diversity. And I want to acknowledge again, because I think it's important that we do this, that we acknowledge again the presence of our Board of Trustee members, Chair Alex Martins and our Vice Chair, Harold Mills. Thank you so much for everything you do and for continuing to push us to become even better versions of ourselves. Thank you. We were lucky in the last year to be able to recruit Andrea Guzman. She was recognized earlier also, but I want to say that thank you to her publicly for all she has been doing. If you haven't had a chance to read the message that she posted last week, I really do encourage you to look back and see what that said and how we need to reflect on what has been going on. Want to make it very clear that the events where we're seeing bomb threats at historically black colleges, where we see people having views and saying things that are just not part of what we believe, we denounce hate of any kind. We're an institution that cares deeply about each other, and we want to make sure that everybody that comes here understands that our entire goal is to make sure you become the best you can be. And you can only do that if you're in a place where we make it clear that we care about you and that we love you. So we want to continue to fulfill that goal of becoming an inclusive university and become the model for the country. And Dr. Guzman is going to be the one leading a lot of that effort. So let's thank her in advance for all she's going to be doing. I do love the fact that it was referred to as the highly anticipated keynote of Gerald Hector. And I'll say a couple words before Gerald gets up here, but I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge how much of a difference he has made for this institution. There are some people, who talk a great game but don't deliver. Gerald is not one of those people. He's the opposite of that. He's also an incredible speaker, so I'm also looking forward to the keynote. But in addition, he's someone who actually delivers on everything that he puts his mind to. He's focused, he'll continue to push, and I would actually describe him kind of like someone described me once, that, that the personality is just that you'll lean on the wall and eventually that wall will actually move. And I know that that's the way he feels, as he just pushes into things to understand what's happening at this institution, and it's going to make this place better. We need people like Gerald. We need people who are going to help us to become, again, a better institution. And I think you'll learn more about him later today. But I'm looking forward to learning even more about this amazing person that we have as our senior VP. Thank you, Gerald, for being here. I do want to reflect on a couple other things, and that is what we are trying to do as an institution, and I think it fits with the core values of the Black Faculty Staff Association. That is that we are looking to have an environment where our students, our faculty, our staff can actually achieve their maximum potential. I've said it before that in the inner game of tennis, they talk about the fact that your performance is equal to your potential minus interferences. And all too often, people have so many other things that are impacting their ability to be the best that they can be, to reach their maximum potential. It could be financial, it could be emotional, it could be mental health, it could be all sorts of things that are impacting your ability to be the very best that you can be. And our job as an institution should be to minimize all of those interferences, to figure out how we ensure that our students have opportunities to participate in the absolute best opportunities that they could ever have, that we have faculty who are the best in the world, and that we allow our faculty to achieve their maximum potential. And of course, that we focus on our staff, and that we take the opportunity to figure out how can our staff achieve what they want to achieve. How can they have the resources, have the opportunity to again be the best that they can be. And that sometimes can be challenging because we don't have all the resources we need. We don't have everything that it takes to be the absolute best that this institution can be. But for those of you who are a little bit older, like me, you might recognize this reference, but I love to refer to this institution as the Macgyver of Institutions. It is an institution that I came into, and I remember when I got here, I just was shocked at how some things were done, and they were working. And yes, that's what's amazing, is that you look at the tools that you had, and they were tools from the, long time ago. And yet, you made it work. And I don't think you realize how amazing that is. And I think that it's something that has bled into the culture of this institution. This is an institution who in its DNA believes that anything is possible, who doesn't let difficulties and challenges get in its way, who actually recognizes, and you even heard it when Wayne said it, that we have our warts, we have all the other things that are challenges, but you only remove them if you see them. And we are an institution that has always looked at how do we become better? How do we make sure we can be the best we can be? And I think part of that is about giving people opportunities, working with people, all of the things that we want to do through service, and making sure that we help people to understand that they really need to find their passion, figure out what it is they want to do to have a positive impact, and that all of us as leaders, as mentors, need to figure out how we continue to allow people to have that impact that they want to have. I believe always that people want to do the best thing and that they want to help other people, and we should try to figure out how we make that actually happen. And that's what mentors do. Mentors figure out how to find ways to improve others' abilities. And sometimes it's encouraging words, sometimes it's making sure they understand where they need to improve. But at all time, it's built around love. It's built around wanting people to be the best that they can be. And there's no better reward for anyone than being a mentor and seeing them be exceptionally successful. That is the best thing, one of the best things for sure in life. And I want all of you to continue to do the great work you're doing. Do that great work for our students, for our staff, and certainly also for our faculty. And we want to continue to make sure that everything that we do is built around our compassion, our care, the dedication, generosity, all of the things that we value. And this is, I believe, what's going to make us a better institution. We need to be willing to let others know that we're not afraid to be that institution that talks about love of one another, that talks about compassion, because it's only when you care deeply about each other that you challenge each other to be even better versions of yourself. And you can do it in a way that people will always know that you care and that you're only trying to make the person a better version of themselves. We have incredible people at this institution. And again, I want all of you to know how amazed I am, even almost 22 months now into this, how much has happened at this place in such a short period of time. And it's because of all of you. I am honored to be a part of this institution. I'm certainly honored to be here, and I look forward to what BFSA will do over the next 50 years. So thank you so much for your effort. Go Knights, charge on.
Thank you again, Dr. Cartwright. And so now I'd like to welcome Sierra Turner, the Vice President of the Black Student Union.
Good morning. How are you all today? Nice to hear that. So I'm so glad to be here this morning and to give the student welcome for this mentoring celebration. My name is Sierra Turner, and I'm a senior here at the University of Central Florida, and I'm proudly the Vice President of this year's Black Student Union. This year's theme is Community Excellence, inspired by the great words of Martin Luther King Jr. Not everybody can be famous, but everybody can be great because greatness is determined by service. As an undergraduate student, still finding my way and kind of coming to my end of my college journey, I find that today's theme resonates deeply within me, and I feel that it should deeply resonate with my fellow Knights in this room. I'm sure at one point in our lives, we've all dreamt about being in the spotlight, to be recognized as someone special for our talents, someone as a singer, maybe even an actor or a professional athlete. Even today in this age of social media, being around influencers trying to get the most follows and the most likes. But in reality, there's so much more than life than just being in fame and to being a celebrity. There's substance and service. To serve your others, to serve your community, and to serve on this campus. Service to others inspires meaningful change, helping us to grow and discover our place, our purpose, and influencing others to tap into their greatness as well. The Black Faculty and Staff Association showcases community excellence through their mentorship program offered to students just like me. Through this program, we're giving an opportunity to build a strong connection with such incredible Black faculty and staff members at UCF, and their individual service deeply impacts us all, influencing our perspective, and to help us navigate our life beyond college. Congratulations to BFSA for their 50th anniversary, and thank you.
So how are we? We doing all right? All right, okay. I want to call back up to the stage Dr. Ross to formally introduce our keynote speaker. So Dr. Ross, come on
up. Thank you, Simone, again, and thank you, Sierra. That was very nice. We appreciate your comments and your reflections. And also thank you to Wayne Jackson earlier. Very meaningful remarks, ones that we take seriously and to heart, because Wayne's a very good friend, not just of BFSA, but of me over all these years. And Dr. Cartwright, I'm amazed that you read The Inner Game of Tennis. I also read that book as a kid, but my interpretation was that it taught you how to control your mind and clear your mind during a match so you could do what you needed to do, like wipe out your opponent. So, anyway. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Gerald Hector, or Mr. Gerald Hector. And I'm going to try to stick to the script, but knowing me, I'm going to go off script because that's who I am, in a way, I guess. Okay. Gerald, and I don't call him Gerald, okay? I'm not calling him Mr. because when people call me Mr., I say that's code for you're old, Professor Ross, or you're learned, Professor Ross. I'm going to call you Gerald, okay, Gerald, because I think you're younger than I am. And after speaking to your wife, I know you're younger than I am. Okay. Mr. Gerald Hector serves as the Senior Vice President for Administration and Finance here at UCF. He oversees all matters relating to finance, treasury, human resources, business services, campus safety, and all aspects of facilities management. Now, I asked him this before. I said, why is your name and all these emails coming out? That wasn't like the last guy. He said, no, that's what I do. I'm in charge of all these emails. I said, wow, man, they're getting their money's worth from you. Okay. Before joining UCF, he was the executive vice president and chief business officer for Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. He has held several other senior executive positions, namely vice president for financial affairs and treasurer for Ivy League Cornell University near Ithaca College and Johnson C. Smith University. His foray into higher education started when he was made corporate controller for the United Negro College Fund, joining them after serving as the auditor at Deloitte and Touche. For historical purposes, Deloitte and Touche used to be Deloitte, Hoskins, and Sells. Now today, I believe they're just Deloitte. Yes? His career started to graduate with honors from Howard University in Washington, D.C. After honoring his 4-year track scholarship, which is very nice, his career has also seen many significant milestones. He was a part of a team that established a financial framework for, to get this, a landmark $1 billion Gates Millennium Scholars Program that sought to have over 20,000 students, minority students from African American, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, and Native American people attain their goal of a college degree. He had financial stewardships over several other notable national higher education gifts that include the Student Success Program at Morehouse College, where philanthropist Robert F. Smith paid off $34 million of student debt for the graduating class of 2019 at Morehouse. And I can tell you just from talking to Gerald that since coming to US, he's also been connected to the money. So it seems like wherever he goes, the money seems to follow him. So this is his 5th and hopefully final stop, and we hope he stays here for a while. Unless the Lord calls him elsewhere, because you never know, right? In 2019, he authored his first book, It's Easy, Son, Quit Making Things Difficult, Lasting Life Lessons from a Coach and Mentor. He regards the book as a thank you to his college track and field coach, the legendary William P. Moultrie, whose mentoring and guidance helped him navigate his career in corporate America and now higher education. In 2020, the book birthed a podcast with the same name, where he weekly interviewed thought leaders known to inspire generations of people. The podcast is growing, and at times has an international audience. He's an avid golfer, reader, and author. And speaking to him last week, I knew he was a golfer because he and a gentleman was talking about golf. And I said, how can I segue into this conversation? Because they weren't inviting me in. So I said, what is your handicap? And the first gentleman says, well, mine's a dog leg left. I said, okay, I get that. I followed Tiger Woods since '97. I've watched more golf tournaments than probably most people in this room. And I said, well, Gerald, what is your handicap? And he said, my handicap is my handicap. And I thought that was pretty good. I had never heard that before. That's different. He also mentors several individuals in the belief that giving back to those coming after him is key to extending the legacy of love that our world so sorely needs. He, like so many of you, is a firm believer in the concept that it's not where you start, but where you're headed. When you think of Montego Bay, Dunn's Rivers Falls, Bob Marley, and Usain Bolt, I don't need to tell you what beautiful country you think of. Gerald is originally from Jamaica. He is married to his university sweetheart, Sharon Kay, who I met today, and she met him in the library, not on the track field. That's where you want to meet a good person in the library, okay? Their union has produced 3 children, Joshua, Timothy, and Kezia. I knew Joshua and Timothy were biblical. I didn't know Kezia was also biblical until Charlotte Kay told me that it was biblical, owing to, I believe, Job's wife, yeah, and his whole ordeal. He credits his journey to life thus far for his faith in God, which is undergirded by a master's degree in Christian thought from the Gordon Cornell Theological Seminary. If I were to ask Gerald, from whom does my help come from, he'd tell me immediately what that would be. And his answer would be just as obvious to him as it is to so many of us, for there is nobody greater. When Dr. Cartwright spoke of succeeding, he reminded me of a quote that I saw on LinkedIn recently, and the quote was simply this: when you want to see someone successful, or when you want to see someone succeed, you will help them to succeed. And for me, that was pretty thought-provoking. And I think Gerald, with his whole orientation towards helping people and giving back and mentoring them and making them to be the best person they can be, it really speaks to a notion of empowering people and liberating them to really be their best self, to be the best version of themselves. And I was telling them earlier, when I spoke of him, I regard him highly, as I do so many of you, but he reminds me of Nelson Mandela. I was telling them I was in South Africa when Mandela died, and they mourned for a month there, as you probably know. But Mandela has always touched me with some of his quotes, so in introducing Mr. Hector, I met Gerald. I'm going to say that he reminds me of Mandela in the following quote, and that is simply this: to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. That is Nelson Mandela, and I believe that is the young man who's approaching our stage right now. So let's give a Knights Nation welcome to Mr. Gerald Hector.
Wow. How do you speak after that? Well, first and foremost, thank you all for BFSA for having me to do this today and trying to just make sure that I can weave together several pieces of information: Dr. King, community, and excellence. This is a task, but I'm up to it. So good morning, Knight Nation. Let me first say that it is an honor to be your speaker for this morning at this most prestigious event, the 28th Annual Joseph C. Andrews Mentoring Celebration. I researched as much as I could on Mr. Andrews, and what I learned was that he was a man who cared deeply for students here at the university. He went out of his way to ensure that they had every opportunity to grow and develop as scholars, knights, and all-around solid citizens and social entrepreneurs. His legacy lives on through this event, and we are grateful for his witness and love for his students and the UCF. I'd like to express my sincere thanks to Dr. Lee Ross and his leadership team of the Black Faculty Staff Association for thinking me worthy of speaking at such an event. I hope that my little contribution today will be of benefit and meaning to our campus community. I'd also like to acknowledge Dr. Cartwright and First Lady Melinda Cartwright, all the students, faculty, and staff and supporters who are in attendance. I would also like to acknowledge my beautiful wife, Sharon Kay, who I asked to attend and sit close by so I can check in with her facial expressions. I can always adjust in real time. But on a serious note, she's my biggest supporter and cheerleader in anything I do. And I appreciate her willingness to put up with my crazy schedule and always keeping me grounded on task that we believe that I was called to do. When I was first asked to be the keynote speaker, I was humbled and honored. For some time, I tried to figure out what I could say that would be uplifting and inspirational. Last week, when I met with the BFSA team, I garnered a full understanding of the theme and the words from Dr. Martin Luther King that undergird it. I immediately started to pray on the inside. They shared documents, the past speakers, and the impact those folks had on our nation. I was told I was going to be a part of an elite crowd. Despite that, I was up to the task. It would be easy for me to stand here today and talk about mentoring in its traditional sense. I could talk about my professional journey. I could rattle off the names of mentors and work experiences. I can share my various highs and excruciating lows. I can express statements of what I feel when I see folks see me now as the senior vice president of one of the nation's fastest growing and rising research universities, versus the early years of betrayal, doubt, fear, setbacks, imposter syndromes, and countless times when I prayed and wondered why getting ahead was so tough. When I had done everything I was told to do from birth. At times it felt simply unfair, but I had to press through it because there's always something I had to learn inside those tough times. Today, however, I want to speak to the fact that for any community or group of individuals to achieve community excellence, it does not come by way of fiat or clever marketing pieces and slogans from the communications unit, a mandate from the board of trustees, or be a part of a strategic plan put forward by a president and his or her leadership team. Those oftentimes sounds good and tickles the ears, but all too often they become check-the-box exercises, and the community moves on from them within a year or two. I will proffer today that to get to a community of excellence, we have two earlier stages that cannot be overlooked. The challenge that we are faced with as a collective is that despite knowing the right things to do, we often fall short because any community is a grouping of folks with different lived experiences, different views on how to achieve excellence within the group. That makes excellence a fleeting goal and eventually becomes a mug's game as the support loses steam because the core issues are not central to the effort. It oftentimes requires leadership from every level within the community. Before we can get to community excellence, we must first understand people excellence and what such a term means to each individual within the community. I already noted that working hard to climb the ladder is a given. Having mentors is a given. However, each member of the community has to do some self-reflection to understand what they are bringing to the community, and more importantly, they must feel empowered that if they bring their time, talents, and treasures to the community, it will be valued. They need to know that despite rank or position, we all feel as if our voices matter in the conversation that affects the entire community. We need to feel as if we are in a safe space to speak our minds without fear of retribution, being ostracized, or worse yet, being ridiculed. In other words, we need to feel comfortable that we can bring our authentic selves to the community and not be ignored. This is where BFSA can play a major role in shaping policies and practices on our campus. The next stage we have to conquer on our journey to community excellence is corporate excellence. This is not excellence in terms of a corporation, but this is excellence driven by how an organization carries and promotes itself. The old expression that says, "I must fake it until I make it," is a truism that we cannot ignore here. We simply cannot afford to fake it. We must embrace what we say we want to achieve. If people excellence is not humming along, we can forget about corporate excellence at the level leaders like myself would like to see. This in turn limits our community excellence in the future. Why is that the case? I'm glad you asked. It is the case because egos and my way or the highway thinking creeps in. Silos leads to fiefdoms and cliques within the community, and the end result is a community that is seemingly going through fits and starts. I once heard Lawrence Baker, the president of Harvard University, mention, if the president or the leader of an organization is the only one coming up with the solution to problems, that is an organization in trouble. So we can clearly see that to achieve corporate excellence, people excellence is what sets the platform for that success. Once again, BSFA has an opportunity to be at the table sharing ideas, thoughts, and strategies on how to assist the university to navigate the ever-changing demographics in our nation and the impact here at UCF. Also, in the realm of corporate excellence, there are stakeholders, admirers, and supporters of the community. They see what is going on. They see if we are aligned as a community. They see what is less than optimal in our community. They struggle to understand how to engage our community. They will also shun our community as a potential investment option of their time, talent, and treasure. Given where we are today as a society, as a nation and a world, no community can stand alone. We need alliances. We need partnerships and social influence to get things done. We need doors open to funding sources. We need avenues paved for introduction to spaces we currently don't occupy. If we don't address the people excellence, we sacrifice the corporate excellence, then in the end, that hinders the community excellence that we seek. They all seem mutually exclusive, but in the context of a community, they are inextricably linked. And I would argue that they are sequential in nature. In this post-COVID world, we must ensure that the sequence is followed. However, we also need to challenge every member of the community with a dose of OATE, O-A-T-E, ownership, accountability, transparency, and empowerment. Community members must know that they must own a role within the community. They must be accountable to the entire community. They must be transparent with what they are doing in and for the community. They must empower others to participate with the skills and expertise in the community. Well, Mr. Hector, what does that have to do with mentoring, as Mr. Andrews espoused, and community excellence, that is the theme for this breakfast? Once again, I'm glad you asked. I will turn your attention to the quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. that is the impetus for today's theme on community excellence. It reads as follows: "Not everybody can be famous, but everybody can be great, because greatness is determined by service." Do you see the connection? It is there, hiding in plain sight. We don't have to be famous to be great, but we can be great right where we are. To be great where we are, we have to make a commitment to serve. Servant leadership. That is how we will be truly great. If the community acknowledges the service that everyone brings to the table, that lifts the entire community. If we continue to downplay the roles of some in the community suffers the consequences. That in turn sets up the classic case of the unqualified leading the unwilling into the unnecessary for no apparent reason. This happens because the motive for service for some is solely based on power and ego. And some who wield that power might not be ready or capable to do so within the community. Well, Knight Nation, I came to this wonderful institution in January of 2021 because I was able to grasp a vision from Dr. Alexander Cartwright. A bold vision, but one that is needed given the macro forces pressing against higher education today. We have embarked on a journey to excellence that will cause all of us to serve in capacities and ways that OATE lives. I love the empowerment aspect of the most, but followed closely by accountability. Let me tee this up even further. Night Vision has been launched on our campus. I can see a glorious day when everyone in the community owns their roles, that they are properly trained and equipped to hold, are valued in those roles. They have systems and processes that allows them to be successful in those roles. They will be accountable for their roles to not only their supervisors, but the entire community. They will see a greater transparency around the allocation of resources to benefit the community. They will see their way clear to participate in promotional opportunities that are clear for all to understand. And they will be able to live and learn at their growing edge in a professional manner. They will feel empowered such that they can speak clearly, boldly, and with confidence that their ideas will be heard. BFSA has a major role to play in shaping this reality yet again. When we bring it all together, this community we have here at UCF is what we're calling One UCF. We will work together, mentoring each other, pointing out our flaws, our errors, and our shortcomings together. We will win together because all we have a role to play to ensure the legacy of this institution is extended into the future. Today, BFSA is extending an invitation to a new way of thinking about our community, one that is based on respect for individuals' knowledge and capabilities, empathy for those who are in need, and accountability for those whose roles are key to the operations of the university. It is in this rich tapestry of humanity that is UCF that will set us apart. Our differences now become our greatest asset. Hockey legend Wayne Gretzky said it best: we must skate to where the puck is going. When we dispassionately take a look at where UCF has come in such a short period of time, 59 years or so, we are already where the puck is going. It has not arrived yet. However, there might be some things blocking it from getting through, and we should take the time to get ready when it arrives. At that point, the acceleration will be even greater. You see, friends, we already look like the future of our nation with our rich diversity in size, cultural competencies, and location in a major metropolitan city. This place is where top-notch research and life-changing experiments take place in our engineering programs. This place has over 350,000 strong alumni who are doing great things, from creating vaccines to save lives to producing limbs for children so they can have a normal life. This place is now on the radar for its social mobility factors, such that philanthropist Mackenzie Scott donated $40 million of unrestricted funds to continue that work. This place has one of the top-ranked hospitality schools in the world that resides in the top destination point in the world. Talk about synergy and opportunity. This place sends students around the world to compete and win in cybersecurity competitions. This place just produced its first Gates Cambridge Scholar. This place was just recognized for our work with our Hispanic population of students with the seal of Excellencia. This place has the fingerprints of Joseph C. Andrews, who we honor today with this breakfast, Dr. Cheryl Evans Green, the first black faculty member hired, and Dr. John T. Washington, one of our earliest black faculty members to leave a lasting impact on so many UCF nights. This place is the youngest to get into a Power 5 conference, and doing so in the shortest amount of time. Although there is work to be done, through the mentorship and service of all, one to another, we have not seen anything yet. The best is yet to come. However, we must understand that Dr. King had it right. Greatness is embodied within us. We cannot settle just for that. The vibrations we leave in this earth is known globally when we serve others humbly and with the right motives, when we treat each other fairly, and when we get outside of our comfort zone and embrace, but more importantly, become that community of excellence. I close by sharing a quote for us to ponder as we think about our community of excellence here at UCF. It is from my university track and field coach, the great William P. Moultrie, when he said, "It's easy, son. Quit making things difficult." We really do make things difficult. We have allowed our new way and sophisticated ways of thinking to get us away from the basics, one of which is to care for our neighbors in community. Let us use our collective wisdom and love for this institution to make the path to our future success much easier. In that moment, in that time, we can all collectively come together as one UCF and shout from the top of our lungs, "Go Knights!" You could do better than that. Go Knights! Go Knights! Go Knights! I bid you farewell.
Thank you again. And on behalf of the Black Faculty and Staff Association, we want to thank you for serving as our keynote speaker for the 28th Annual Joseph C. Andrews Mentoring Celebration. We are grateful for the time and effort you took to share your thoughts, and would like to take this time to present you with this award as a representation of our sincere appreciation. Now, at this time, if you can please join me in re-welcoming President Alexander Cartwright as he will begin to present the Dr. Cheryl Green and Dr. T. Collins Scholarship Awards.
Thank you. Again, I hate having to follow people like that. So you guys have got to get a little better about where to put the president in the schedule in the order. So, but thank you again, Gerald. This year I have the honor of presenting the 2022 recipients of the Dr. Cheryl Green Service Scholarship Award and the Dr. T. Collins Scholarship Award. Each recipient will receive a scholarship to assist them with their cost of attendance at UCF. The BFSA would like to thank all the students who applied for the scholarships. Dr. Cheryl Green was a founding member of the School of Social Work at UCF and served as an associate professor in the school, where she held several administrative positions throughout the course of her tenure. Dr. Green received numerous faculty awards, mentored countless students and colleagues, and received over $250,000 in grant funding for her research in the field of social work. This year's Dr. Cheryl Green Service Award recipient is a junior from the College of Engineering and Computer Science. For the past 2 years, they have lived by their words of, as humans, intimate spiritual relationships are some of the most profound. It's nice to know that someone cares. They have mentored at-risk youth and have volunteered at the local community hospital in their hometown of Sarasota. The 2022 recipient for the Black Faculty Staff Association Dr. Cheryl Green Service Scholarship is Jean Bernard Ozit. Dr. T. Collins was a Harlem native and the first African-American animator to establish his own studio in New York. His animation would play on the first episode of Sesame Street in 1969, one of my favorite shows. I mean that. And would carry over into the book All About Sesame Street. He was best known for his creation of the character Wanda the Witch on Sesame Street. UCF was fortunate to have Dr. Collins as a professor in the Department of Visual Arts for 11 years. This year's Dr. T. Collins Award winner is a student working toward a dual degree in interdisciplinary studies and sociology on a pre-medical track. The student actively participates in serving the UCF community by dedicating their time to help alleviate food insecurities. From volunteering at Helping Knights Pantry and participating in the alternative break program, where they, yes, it is a great program, good, where they engage the Atlanta community to help work against food insecurities, they have definitely made an impact. They also have strived to bring awareness to the importance of diversity and inclusion through the UCF's Cultural Center. The 2022 recipient for the Black Faculty and Staff Association Dr. T. Collins Scholarship is Ileana Jacobs.
Good morning. Now, you've gotten breakfast, and I saw the coffee flowing, so you can do much better than that. Good morning. Good morning. That's better. That's better. Unlike President Cartwright, I like exactly where I am on the agenda. Thank you very much. This year, I have the honor of presenting the 2022 recipients of the Mentee and Mentor of the Year awards. And this is truly an honor for me because when people ask, how did a young girl from the Detroit Public School District growing up in an impoverished home make it to where I am today, I always say two things: by the grace of God and the angels that he sent my way. And those angels in many ways were mentors throughout my life. So this is truly, truly an honor for me to present. The first award is the Mentee of the Year award. This award is given to the student who consistently demonstrates outstanding characteristics by going above and beyond their expectations as a mentee and shows personal growth that impacts the lives of others. This year's Mentee of the Year is a senior here at UCF, where she is pursuing a Bachelor of Arts in Legal Studies and a minor in Political Science. She is Haitian American, and her interest in the law stems from her goal of becoming an immigration attorney. Mentorship has always played a pivotal role in her life and journey to become a first-generation college graduate. At UCF, she is a member of the Legacy Leadership and Mentoring Program and is mentored by Dr. Lee Ross. I'm sorry, I lost my spot here. Mentorship has empowered her to break barriers, step out of her comfort zone, and dream bigger. The 2022 recipient for the Black Faculty and Staff Association Mentee of the Year is Jefflyn DeSelmy. Congratulations once again, Jefflyn. I can't wait to see all of the great things you'll accomplish here at UCF and beyond. The second award is the Mentor of the Year award. This scholarship is awarded to people who serve as a role model and provides outstanding support and contributes to the growth and development of UCF students. This person should show a wide variety of mentoring areas, including assisting research and publications, interpersonal and motivational skills, and promoting career development. This year's Mentor of the Year is Vernon Headley, who is a UCF doctoral student pursuing sociology. Mr. Headley has served as a graduate teaching assistant since 2019 in the sociology department. His research interest includes medical sociology, African American fatherhood, and social and educational inequality. Vernon is also a two-time Knight, graduating with both his bachelor's and master's from UCF. Vernon is an extraordinary and special UCF Knight. Vernon exemplifies academic and personal excellence. He makes a professional connection with students, faculty, and staff. His willingness to listen, learn, share, and grow in areas of his life continue to impress me. His wisdom and maturity are reflected in some comments that we've received about him from our students. And I quote, "I am so grateful that I had you as my peer mentor. I had a wonderful time getting to know you, and I am glad that we were able to have good talks. I received a lot of insight from you, and I enjoyed hearing your opinions and your point of view. I really enjoyed our time together." End quote. The 2022 recipient for the Black Faculty and Staff Association Mentor of the Year is Vernon Headley. Congratulations once again, Vernon. Before I hand the mic over, I just want to talk to our students really quick. How many students are here today? Raise your hand. Really high. Lots of them. Great. If you do not have a mentor, get one. Anyone here that has been successful will tell you that they wouldn't have made it to where they're at without someone showing them the way, because they can see something in you that sometimes we don't always see in ourselves. And if you're not mentoring, mentor. We have 70,000 plus students, and all of them can benefit from a good mentor. Next, Ms. Courtney Hand will be presenting the Past President Legacy Award. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I know we said good morning maybe about 20, 30, a million times now, but I promise you this is the last time. So this year I have the honor of presenting the 2022 recipient of the BFSA Past President Legacy Award. The Past President Legacy Award is awarded to our UCF student who has demonstrated transformational leadership both on and off campus. They will have demonstrated outstanding achievements in the areas of leadership, excellence, community, and academics. I would also like to recognize my co-chair of this year's mentoring celebration and colleague, Dr. Tammy Nadeau, who also is the establisher of this award. This year's Past President Legacy Award recipient is Stisha Steel, a senior biotechnology student here at UCF. She is an individual that prides herself in working hard and excelling in her academic career. The student's transformational leadership is her work in improving. An example of this leadership is her work in improving the Taekwondo club at UCF through a risk management position. The position involves the implementation of several safety procedures that protect students in the organization. In the classroom, she serves as a lab assistant, assisting students in understanding organic chemistry. Wow. She has been recognized by Excel, Mass, and the UCF Healing Arts for her academic and artistic work. Lastly, in addition to involvement, she also does research at Lake Nona under Dr. Kyle Road, examining different bacteria that further our knowledge about tuberculosis. Please welcome the 2022 recipient of the Past President Legacy Award, Ms. Stisha Steel. Congratulations to all of our recipients this year. As we remember Mr. Andrews for his leadership and mentoring UCF students, we also celebrate our collective achievements towards a more inclusive and diverse environment in which to study, work, and live. We recognize all of our UCF mentors and their proteges who enrich each other's lives and encourage each other to succeed on a daily basis. Thank you.
Congratulations again to all of our scholarship winners. Just want to give everyone a round of applause one more time. And to all of the recipients, we are asking that after the ceremony, if you could stick around just for a few minutes for a quick photo op, we would kindly appreciate that. All right, so as we are winding down the celebration, I do want to turn things back over to Dr. Lee Ross for some closing remarks in recognition of our sponsors.
Again, thank you, Simone Baker, and I want to give you guys the good news. We're way ahead of schedule. We're getting in and out here in record time because that's what we do, okay? We have two special awards in recognition of our sponsors. Sponsors are very important because we wouldn't be here today actually without our sponsors, to be quite honest. We can do the math a little bit later on in terms of how things are adding up, but Wayne Jackson knows from previous experiences as president that you need some sponsors for this event. One sponsor we want to recognize is Ms. Chantel Carter. She's the Associate Director of the Office of Student Involvement, and we appreciate her. So Chantel, will you please come up? Come on, Chantel. While Chantel makes her way to the podium, we want you to admire her beautiful top, which is very colorful. And now she's in a jog. Here we go.
I'll take it off for the photo, sorry.
Okay. Some of you know this, some of you don't, but before being a professor and getting my doctorate at Rutgers, I spent 7 years in law enforcement, federal law enforcement. I arrested a lot of people, mostly for drug and addiction and narcotics and so forth. Some of that I'm proud of, some of that I kind of regret. I have different views on the war on drugs these days. I've seen the aftermath of mass incarceration, who is incarcerated and who is not. So I say that to pay homage to our second sponsor today. He's a gentleman, I'm gonna say again, younger than me, but someone who I very much respect. I've met with him before on the most turbulent of times, on the most accusatory situations, but one that we're able to resolve. And he is Chief Carl Metzger of the UPS Campus Police. I love Chief Metzger's message to to us as people in terms of proactive strategies to prevent crime. They had this model that says, if you see something, say something. To Chief Metzger, I think he's one of the few gentlemen who can accept this in the spirit in which it is intended, that if you are a police officer, if you see something, you should also say something. Because you see a lot in terms of corruption, brutality, excessive force, and so forth. Not the UCF campus police, but law enforcement in general. So if you're going to tell us if we see something, say something, then I'm saying, yeah, if you see something, also say something. That's only fair. Okay? For what it's worth. Okay. I mentioned, before I get to the good part, I just want to pay homage and respect to our e-board for BFSA, right? It's the Black Faculty Association. It's our executive board. It is comprised of Magvinda Kaur-McNeil, who is our illustrious treasurer. It is also comprised of Courtney Hand, who was last year's president. Now she's the immediate past president. It is also comprised of Mr. Darrell Gordon. He is our perpetual vice president. It's also comprised of Mr. Woody Joseph. Woody may not be here today, but he's responsible for arranging this room and getting it for us. We cannot appreciate him more. It's also comprised of Ms. Lachey Vasquez, who is our media relations specialist. She knows more about social media than I will ever care to know. And who am I missing? Who am I missing? Dr. Jermaine Graham. She is our ex officio to the board. And if you remember our gathering at the Bennett House, I can tell you that she was very instrumental in making that happen. So we thank her so much for all of her hard work. Okay, we mentioned earlier about the money and so forth. We are doing pretty good with this year's program. It costs a lot, though, to produce, just so you know. And many of you have been good enough to make donations to BFSA in the past. For those of you who have donated to our 50 for 50 campaign last year and even this year, we asked you, however modestly, that to give $1 for each year of 50 years of existence. So some of you caught on like really quickly, and you gave $50. I think Dr. Cartwright, you were one of the first people to donate to that campaign, so thank you so much. And so many others of you also donated, but membership is dirt cheap. It's like $30, right? Know what I'm saying? So you have a QR code on your table. If you ever get the chance, whether now or later, if you take it with you, to go on our website. It's linked directly to a donation page. You don't have to give $30, right? I mean, $10 work too, right? There's roughly, 300 people here? 300 times 10 is a lot of money, right? We need it because we are getting very close to meeting our budget. Just so you know how this works, this room, the food alone costs like $7,700, right? The live streaming alone costs about $1,200, right? So things add up. These flowers are nice, but they cost money. I didn't get it at first. I said, Tammy Nadeau and Courtney Hand were our co-chairs of the Mending Breast, right? I said, Tammy, why don't you try to rent the plants because they could sell them twice and they'll give you a discount. She said, hello, they are rented. They're gonna come back and pick them up at 1 o'clock. What is wrong with you, Professor? So yeah, if you got it, give it. If you don't, it's not a problem. But I tell you this, we really appreciate it. I'm just saying. We have a special gift. It's not a Maserati, I said, but it's good enough because I think you can't put a value or price on education. So Gerald Hector, our devastating keynote speaker, very impressive, he wants to give out 18 copies of his book, which is very good. Yes? And you heard him say earlier that young man is easy, stop making things difficult. Well, there are some lifelong lessons in there that are invaluable, and they would accrue to everyone's benefit, and I think it's a beautiful gesture on his part. Now, he won't be able to sign the books today, but he has a very unique offer for you. If you are chosen to get one of those books, right, he wants you to reach out to him, right, and he's going to arrange a mass meeting for all of you. He's going to gather you all together. He's going to take you out to lunch, maybe dinner, wine and dine you, right? And try to impart some of his wisdom onto you. I think it's very good. So here's how it works. Beneath some of your seats is a magic ticket. Remember Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? Well, look beneath your seats. There should be a ticket sticking out. I think it's blue. Has anyone found a ticket yet? If you found a ticket, let us know. Woo woo! All right, there's one in the back. There's one right here. There's one right there. There's one right there. Okay. Those books are going to be outside the door, right? If you also donated to our 50 for 50 campaign, or if you are a member of BFSA, we have a special gift for you as well. It's a t-shirt that we just produced. And in addition to recognizing Dr. Tammy Nadeau and Courtney Hand as co-chairing our Mentoring Breakfast Committee, we also want to give a special thanks to the young lady who did all the fundraising for us, Dr. Delaney Priest. So Dr. Delaney Priest. Dr. Priest has done this on countless occasions, and she's very, very good at it. I don't know how she juggles all of it, but she really does a great job, and really appreciate her. So, again, we thank you all for coming and taking part in our wonderful celebration. I hope you enjoyed yourself. If there's anything left, for eat-wise, you can take it with you, I guess. Did we decide on the flowers and stuff or no? If you want to take a flower, you can with the vase or no. Leave the vase on the table. Put your hands down and back away from the vase. But you can take the flowers if you can. Just take them to your office and dip them in some water. They'll survive until Valentine's Day. You can be all that. All right. Thank you so much for coming, and give yourselves a round of applause.